Did you know that there are 5 things you could be doing that are actually killing your love life? My name is Stacey Speller. I'm a relationship expert and a life strategist for ambitious, high-achieving women just like you. And I'm here to help. Be sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so every time I load a new video, you'll get a notification. So what are those 5 things? The first thing is when you're getting to know a guy, you're either oversharing or you're too guarded, where you're just word vomiting all over the place. You know, on a date, he can't get a word in edgewise. On the phone, you're just constantly word vomiting. Or you're on the other end of the spectrum where you're so guarded, you know, you give one-word answers like good, fine, yes, no. You're not conversational. So I need you to think about it as like a balance, where it's like a tennis match, like a volleyball, where it's just kind of a little back and forth, you know, a little give and take, a little exchange. Think of it in terms of balance. You don't want to word vomit, but you also don't want to come across guarded. The second thing, and it's okay if you need to say ouch when I say this, is you're too religious. Now, I have coached thousands of women, but I have women that, because I'm a person of faith, they love God. Their faith is important to them. That's fantastic. Mine is as well. But when you're getting to know someone, your entire conversation, your entire being doesn't need to be where you're just baptized in religion, where, you know, right away you have to tell the guy that you're so holy, you glow in the dark in your prayer closet. Instead, you know, just loosen up, lighten up. You can love the Lord and still have fun. You know, the Bible says laughter is the best medicine. Loosen up, have some other things that you can talk about, have fun, okay? You don't have to be so religious. The third thing that I'm seeing is the failure to set boundaries. So when you don't set boundaries right away, that actually ends up ruining the relationship before it can even get started, because boundaries are that foundation for a great relationship. So you have to set boundaries right away. Things like how much you value your time, or that you prefer, you know, telephone conversations versus text because that's the way you want to connect. Whatever your boundary is, that you're not, you know, interested in casual dating, whatever your boundary is, you've got to set that up front. Because when you don't, you're pretty much telling the guy that, you know, you're okay with the games and all of that, and you're not. So set those boundaries up front. The next thing that I'm seeing that you're doing is you don't know how to have just good conversation. You're just an idiot, poor man, where, you know, you've already assumed he's guilty and you're asking him questions to convict him that he's like all the other guys and he must be a liar, waiting to catch him in the lie, waiting to find out that he cheated on his ex, waiting to find out that he's, you know, a betrayal or, you know, any little thing. And so you're not able to have a conversation where you're trying to connect. You're trying to convict the man. Have a conversation. And that leads into the 5th thing. And that is talking about your ex. Because if you've had any guy who's ever done you wrong, and let's face it, if you're over 14 years old, you have. But you cannot talk about your ex while you're getting to know someone new, right? You have to have that be free of that relationship baggage. And unfortunately, you go from relationship to relationship, dating experience to dating experience, and you don't deal with that baggage. You don't get any help, you don't heal, you don't do any of those things. And so you're dragging that baggage along, and it's just collecting as you have these experiences, and then you start talking about it and you think you're over them. I've even had a client who she started talking about her ex and she thought she was fine. She never really dealt with it. And she starts crying on the date, like crying. Now, that's something you would not want to do, right? Where you're crying about your ex. But even just bringing him up, you know, it should be just such a casual thing. If it comes up like, oh, you know, maybe you're divorced. It's like, oh, were you married? You know, yes, I was married for 5 years. I was married for 6 years. You know, we have 3 kids or whatever it is, but just light and casual in the beginning. It should not be a topic of conversation. And certainly you should not be spewing your he did me wrong story right then as you're getting to know someone. So I want you to think about those 5 things. And if this is something that you really want to get some help with, hey, I've got a free guide I've done my top 10 tips of why you're still single, and it talks about some of the habits that I see in my clients that can really help you to start shaping the perspective of how you show up so that you can have that relationship you deserve, so that you can attract that quality guy that you actually can build your life with. So again, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any questions, you can email me. My email is listed with the link, and make sure you download my free guide. I think it'll really help you start to shape your relationship and start seeing some relationship success.